Everything is some kind of repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. I hope that at the very least mine is fun, mine is fun, mine is fun. Everything's a broken record. I hope that mine is a really good part of the song. Hope that the slogan I repeat actually does something positive. Because you know we have a tendency to tell ourselves all kinds of things that probably aren't true. And you know that we have the tendency to gaslight ourselves. I know that I do, even though I don't want to admit it. I know that all the things that I find problematic in the person in front of me is something I find problematic inside of me. So I'm asking God, if He will remove these things, let me figure out how to use these things to the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Please give me the ability. If you're depressed, figure out what can I do with this. Yeah, if you're depressed, ask yourself, what can I do with this? What can I do with this? What can I do with this? If you can't accept some parts of you are bad, then you'll never find the good. It'll never be understood. Wait, what the fuck are you doing? Go. I hate it when like I try to switch lanes and then somebody else tries to switch lanes. That's really annoying. See, we're gonna switch lanes. He's gonna go in that lane now. Okay, I stand corrected. No, I sit corrected. Literally sitting corrected. I think I'm gonna switch lanes again. But yeah, like you have to accept that there are parts of you that aren't very good. And once you can accept that, you'll figure out how to deal with those things. But the longer you keep fighting it, the more of a struggle it's going to be. Whereas if you just accept it, it's a lot like, any misfortune. Any like accident, any unfortunate circumstance. Say somebody mistreats you, It's like you can either stay mad about it or you can just accept the fact that person did that. You can accept the fact that the world's bad. You can accept the fact that bad things happen sometimes, And like I get it. I get like being angry about stuff. Especially stuff that like doesn't have to happen. But it's like, I don't know. This world is so shitty that like nothing surprises me anymore. But it's like if you're gonna stay mad about it, you're just gonna succumb to the victim mentality. And then you're gonna have to do something to escape that, so you're probably gonna become an alcoholic. you know? So, I'll give you an example. Like, I have a friend of mine, well, two different friends of mine. One of them I think I've talked about both of them. But, like, one of them I've talked about way more because she's a very problematic person. She's very toxic. And she's always obsessing about, like, bad things that have happened to her. Like, you know, she was molested in foster care. And, you know, she is still so mad about that. You know, it's like she's just always angry, and she's an alcoholic. You know, the only time she's not angry is when she's, like, stoned out of her mind. But there's this other girl, we all work together, by the way. There's this other girl who grew up with a mom who was a crackhead and passed her around in a trap house from the time she was 8 until the time she was, like, 12, I think. So, like, she was raped so many times, and I have never heard her, like, play the victim about anything. And the reason for that is because she went to therapy, and she got over a lot of that anger that she had towards her mother. And so, you know, that just kind of goes to show you, like, the different ways of dealing with trauma. Like, if you accept the trauma and you figure out ways to, like, understand that, you can move on from that. And of course, this girl has a really dark sense of humor, but it's like, yeah, that's how she deals with things. And, like, this other girl that I'm talking about, she's, like, so fucking sensitive, and it's like she dishes out what she can't take, and, you know, extremely narcissistic, just entitled out the ass, victim all the time, you know? And it's because she refuses to, like, do anything to help herself. So she has no choice, you know, in her mind, she has no choice but to drink and, you know, smoke a fuck ton of weed and vape and, like, all this shit. You know, so she's constantly escaping, but she never, like, learned how to just deal with the trauma that she experienced as a kid. Whereas this other friend of mine, it's like, you know, she's sober the majority of the time. I mean, I know she gets high and drunk sometimes, but she doesn't have to do that, you know? She doesn't have to do that in order to be cool. And it's just sad. It's just sad that, like, people don't love themselves enough to, like, do the work that's required to be in a better state of mind, you know? And these are always going to be problem people that make their problems your problems, right? That's why I say face your fucking trauma. Face your trauma, face the difficulty in your life, face whatever you're struggling with, and just accept that it's a struggle. And I guarantee you, it'll be so much easier. Maybe not now, but eventually it will. And that doesn't mean that it's going to go away. That doesn't mean that, like, you're not going to have anything to deal with in the future, but it won't be anywhere near as traumatic as it feels right now. I never thought that I would say that, but that just kind of shows you, like how much a person is able to grow if they just do the work that's required to understand themselves.